Alright, you lot. Wake up and clock in. Gaming industry's on fire again, and we're here to piss petrol on it. Rockstar's pulling union-busting moves straight out of Bomb Villain HR manual. Battlefield's still breathing despite COD crowd calling time of death. UK military's now hosting esports tournaments like it's fucking Hunger Games for drone pilots. Meanwhile, EA's handing out Battlefield 6 for free like a dealer with confidence. And Saudi Arabia's investment spree just hit a red light because apparently infinite oil money has a spending limit. 5 stories, 5 punches, one full-on assault against circus this industry's become. No safe words, no seatbelts, just straight into wreckage. Let's begin. Remember when Saudi Arabia's public investment fund were buying up half the industry like it were Black Friday bender? Embracer here, S&K there, big chunks of Nintendo and Capcom. Well, guess what? Firehouse is sputtering. Oil money's not gone, but it ain't flowing like it used to. According to a new report, Saudi PIF is putting brakes on new investments. Why? Because they've spent so much cash they're now scraping bottom at liquidity barrel. They're still holding billions in assets, sure, but they've been chucking it around like monopoly money trying to turn Riyadh into next Silicon Valley meets E3. Spoiler, it's not going well. And gaming sector might be at first to feel cold. Remember Embracer? Company they overfed until it exploded into layoffs, studio closures, and half-finished remakes? That was Saudi cash. Remember S&K? Now majority owned by Crown Prince's investment testicle? That's not changing anytime soon, but don't expect a sequel to that strategy, because they've stopped shopping. What this means is simple: no more blank checks for risky buyouts. There's a surprise $3 billion injection into some NFT-laced metaverse FPS fantasy. Done. And for anyone banking on a Saudi sugar daddy to bail out the collapsing studio, sorry mate, oil well's not dry, but appetite for free spending is. So why does that matter? Because ripple effect is massive. Embracer's implosion is already a warning. Not like a new funding could hammer dozens of studios still floating on promises made when money were cheap and delusions were high. Saudis didn't just invest, they distorted market, they inflated valuations, fed delusion, and backed companies too dumb to grow that fast. With this slowdown, expect to see more sell-offs, consolidations, and cash-strapped pivots. And don't be shocked when Vision 2030 hype machine quietly tiptoes away from gaming and back into less volatile investments. In end, message is clear. Golden Goose is tired, and it turns out future of gaming might not be desert-shaped esports arenas after all. Now, imagine clocking off after a decade in trenches building billion-pound games, only to get frog-marched out at studio by security like you leaked goddamn nuke codes. That's what happened to 34 Rockstar devs, fired for gross misconduct, which now apparently includes discussing your salary and reacting with wrong emoji. Welcome to dystopia with mouse cursor, where crime is having a conversation and sentence is career death. Rockstar claims these folks were leaking confidential info. What actually happened? They posted Slack policy gripes and bonus comparisons in a locked Discord, with union staff in loop. Not a GTA 6 spoiler in sight, no gameplay leaks, just grown adults saying, "This new policy's bollocks," and wondering why it boss gutted pet pic channel. Workplace insubordination? Maybe, but a mass execution rate of 4 GTA 6 launches? That's not HR, that's a purge. Turns out someone inside Rockstar, not even a union member, leaked chat logs to people McGames. Why? Because they saw this for what it is, a scorched earth union crackdown. Devs used server to vent about Rockstar's Slack purge, a move that nuked non-work discussion and stripped emoji statuses like it were emoji martial law. And when people started posting quotes from internal emails for those off clock, bang, that what trigger. Rockstar went full NSA, scoured chat, then drop-kicked 34 people out of airlock. It's cherry. Some of these devs were on work visas. That means job goes, country goes, life goes. Company didn't just fire them, it displaced them. And not with a sit-down chat or an exit interview. Nah, these workers were escorted out. No goodbyes, no desk suite, just security and silence. Rockstar's idea of a goodbye is a tasering career. Meanwhile, Union, IWGB, is suing. They're filing for interim relief, basically asking courts to force Rockstar to pay or rehire fired staff until full tribunal. Charges? Union busting, plain and brutal. And if Rockstar thinks it could just hide behind confidentiality, they've got a surprise coming. Protests have already kicked off in London. Edinburgh, Paris, and now Parliament's sniffing around like a Rottweiler with blood on rug. Let's be clear, this ain't just Rockstar. This is industry collapsing under weight of its own bullshit. Layoffs everywhere, crunch still rampant, execs snorting bonuses while workers get culled for talking. They don't want a union because they don't want to get questioned. They want silence, control, fear. But guess what? They might have just poked wrong hornet's nest. Devs have receipts, public's watching, and people make games just lit fuse under the cubicle empire. What's your thoughts on this situation? Drop your comments below. Now then, it's time for fanboys to stop dancing on graves that haven't even been dug. COD Cult sorts the Carner charts, saw Battlefield 6 slip on consoles, and immediately started sniffing their own parts like prophets. It's over! Battlefield's dying! Calm your nipples. We've seen this film before, and it ends with COD breaking its kneecap sprinting into its own microtransaction minefield. So let's dig into truth, not TikTok text. On Steam US, Battlefield 6 is holding silver. Canada and Mexico, still king. That's PC, hardest platform to bullshit. No Game Pass steroids, no forced installs, no digital handholding. Just raw numbers, not a COD entry in sight. And don't forget, Call of Duty HQ now means 3 games duct tape into menu screen like a cursed mobile launcher. You got Warzone leftovers, BO6 Re, and BO7 not off press. So yeah, congrats if you can top chart with 3 old games in a battle royale baked in. You deserve to be mugged by Tetris. Now look at Battlefield 6 again. PS5, still in top 5. Xbox, top 4. And this is BO7 launch week. Not weeks of momentum. So what are you really bragging about, Xbox Warriors? That Black Ops 7 launch day before these charts dropped, and it temporarily boosted Call of Duty HQ to top spot. Mate, that's like bragging you beat Usain Bolt after he tripped over a dog. Let's talk Ark Raiders while we're here. Climbed to number 1 on Steam US. That's impressive, but it's not even on console radar yet. Meanwhile, Wait Wins Meat just dropped into top 15 across Steam and PS5. If anyone's eating into market share, it's these new hungry bastards, not billion-dollar skin seller monster we've been ignoring for 15 years. So no, Battlefield 6 ain't dying. Not yet. You want to talk death? Get 3 more weeks. Let's see where BO7 settles when nostalgia wears off and weapon balancing patch drops that accidentally turns shotgun into orbital lasers. Until then, Battlefield's doing something COD ain't done in years. Grow a spine, build momentum, and not suck so hard it breaks its own aim assist. Now I want to know, do you think Battlefield 6 is dying? Or does community need to wait a few weeks before celebrating Black Ops 7 as a success? Tell me your thoughts below. So EA's cracked open gates and shouted, "Come in, try it!" Cause from November 25th through December 2nd, Battlefield 6 has gone full naked free for all. 1 week, 0 cost, all guns. And it's no coincidence this drops just before Black Ops 7 Season 1 kicks off. This is corporate warfare with a smile and a shotgun. Let's not get confused. This ain't some demo drip feed. You're getting multiplayer, 3 full maps, 2 are more out at Dev Oven, Eastwood and Blackwell Fields, each part at new Battlefield RedSec experience. A name that sounds like someone fed an AI old Rainbow Six manuals and a Mountain Dew bottle. Now EA calls this best-selling shooter at year. Maybe true, maybe PR fluff. But what it is, for sure, is counter-programming with teeth. BO7 just dropped, but Battlefield 6 ain't backing down. It's walking into Octagon with a free trial that don't beg. It performs. And it's clever. Cause while COD's milking 3 games under 1 launcher, Battlefield's quietly fixing its pacing, maps and weapon feel, and now they're tossing you keys saying, "Here, go wreck summer." And a lot of players will, cause free speaks louder than 70 quid regrets. Let's also be honest, EA didn't need to do this. Battlefield 6 ain't dead. It's climbing. Steam stats are healthy, console engagement is stable. COD's got numbers cause of Game Pass, not quality. This free week is less, "Please play us," and more, "Prove to yourself we're better." COD players are going to try it, some will hate it, but some, especially ones still sore from BO7's campaign being a glorified Fortnite event, might just stay. They might say, "Hang on, this feels like a shooter that actually respects me time." And if even 10% of them jump ship, EA calls it a win. Oh, and one last note, this ends December 2nd, just before BO7's first seasonal carrot hits stick, which means if Battlefield hooks them now, there's a real chance they won't come crawling back to COD's next battle pass begging for recycled content and overpriced operator skins. Nah, just when you thought military-industrial complex couldn't get more cringe, UK government has entered chat with its newest brain fart. an international military esports tournament. Yeah, really. Welcome to Defence Esports Games, where over 40 nations will throw down in digital combat, not to win medals, but to boost battlefield performance by learning to multitask like a COD Twitch streamer. This ain't parody. This is Sunderland hosting finals in 2026, because note says elite cyber warfare like land battles in North East while the Colonel shouts 1v3 clutch or you're doing push-ups. According to MOD, this ain't just a fun side hustle, it's a new military sport, as in formally recognised alongside rugby and shooting. Logic? Gaming teaches soldiers how to track multiple threats, adapt tactics in real time, and make split-second decisions under pressure. Just like real combat, except your kill streaks don't drop a Reaper drone in real life. Unless of course you're in Ukraine, where drone war gamification's already a thing. We're talking real life points for confirmed kills, spendable in an online store like Brave 1. Get a high score? Buy yourself better gear. It's Black Mirror with a kill feed. And it gets worse. Ukraine's military is openly recruiting gamers for its drone units. Because apparently, if you've got 10,000 hours in Warzone, you're halfway to remote operating a turret via Steam Deck. Yeah, that happened too. Army's using Steam Decks for remote gun control. Some lads play Elden Ring on toilet. Others use it to wipe out enemy positions. Meanwhile, back on HMS Prince of Wales, UK's flagship aircraft carrier, they've built a high-end esports suite on ship. Not for R&R, for training. If that don't scream, we're trying to make cyberwar look sexy to 17-year-olds who rage quit Valorant. No, Will. Strategy's obvious. Tech gamer culture, weaponise it, and slap a uniform on it. Recruit through kill cams, train with scoreboards, replace boot camps with Discord scrims. This ain't about sharpening skills, it's about harvesting generation raised on kill-death ratios and Red Bull to fake proxy wires with controller on one hand and Tron joystick in other. And here's kicker, no mention at US in this tournament. Either they've clocked how cursed it is, or they're quietly planning their own battle pass powered boot camp in basement at Pentagon. So to sum it up, UK just militarised esports, Ukraine gamified drone strikes, and gamers everywhere now need to double check if that recruitment email from taskforceelite@mod.uk is offering a beta key or a battlefield contract. And that's your gaming Hellwire. Like, subscribe and all that bollocks. Drop your game pick for esports Warzone below. If you don't, you're on Fortnite babysitting duty. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.